How are you guys?
How are you?
Pretty good, not bad.
Well, Trent, I'll start. How much have you told the guys about the atmosphere down there? To me, it resembles kind of a mini SEC atmosphere when they get it cranked up. Have you talked to your guys about that?
Yeah, our coaches have been honing in on kind of what the environment is, and obviously I've seen it firsthand since I played there, so I just trying to been telling the guys exactly what to expect and how loud it's going to be, because it's going to be rocking first game.
Trent, Coach was just talking about that D-line and how strong they are up front. Just what challenges does that bring for you guys?
They've been playing together since, I was there as their teammate, so they have a lot of chemistry. You know, they've built the guys up since they've been there, and, you know, they play pretty good. They play gap sound. You know, that whole defense is pretty good. So, they kind of just feed off each other, and they use a lot of energy.
Trent, just take you back to the going there. How excited are you to get to go there?
It's gonna be a fun time, obviously, to get back in Dowdy. You know, I still have some of my best friends on that team, so it's gonna be pretty fun. But you know, it's just another week, week 2, so just going down there to get a W.
When you look at what you guys were able to do as far as running the ball, obviously, you know, Sheen's got an extra gear that he can hit when he gets in some open space. But what did you see from your perspective on the line that worked well against Albany?
You know, Sheen's a great running back. He makes everything available, even when it's not available sometimes. So, you know, the group we've been working. You know, we've been trying to open up the holes and everything, and you know, physicality is our little mindset. So all 5 of us would just be as physical as you can, and you know, that opens up some holes for Sheen and for Payne. You know, that's kind of what we do. We kind of play smart, play physical, and then that kind of just opens up everything else for the offense.
They showed quite a few different looks, I guess, trying to confuse the offense. What's the key as far as identifying what's really happening, getting into the right calls, that kind of thing, and you're playing a pretty big role in that?
Yeah, we just have to be on the same page for every single play this week. There can't be any screw-ups. Obviously, everybody's got to be on the same page, from Cam to Sheen and Payne to the offensive line to the wide receivers, the tight ends. And like I've been telling everybody all week, it's going to be really loud. You're not going to be able to hear yourself. Those fans are great. But, you know, it's just coming together, and we just all got to be on the same page. We can't have any mistakes that will hurt us this week.
Just one more. Trent, you've been a little bit of in a couple of these games now, here and there. It's kind of a neat rivalry given the past between these two schools. Can
Yes,
you
sir.
talk a little bit about that?
I think it is pretty cool. I really didn't have much of the 75 look whenever I was down at ECU. I really didn't. I've heard of it, but I wasn't in it. And then now it's kind of roles reversed. Now I am part of the 75, and you know, going on there. And whenever I was on the team down there, we came up here. You know, it was a dogfight the whole entire game. So these are 2 teams that don't quit, and they're extra physicals. So it'll be a good test on Saturday.
Is everybody good?
Thank you, Trent.
Appreciate you guys.
Linebacker Keyshawn Brown.
Keyshawn, how did it feel to get out there game 1 with the herd?
Whew, man, it felt real good. Honestly, anytime we get to, you know, go suit up and do what we do, you know what I'm saying, it's always a blessing. So I'm just forever grateful for the opportunity to go play college football. So.
What do you know about your opponent this week?
I know ECU, they're going to check it around a good bit. They do, you know, they're more of a balanced team. They're going to run a little bit too. So we just got to be sound, man. Sound in everything we do. You know, just keep the table turning, get better and better each week. You know, so I feel like everything can take care of itself if we take care of ourselves. So.
Keyshawn, defensively, you had the QB escape on that 4th and 1, but overall, it looked like you guys had a pretty good effort. When you go back and look at the film from Saturday, what did you see?
Honestly, I've seen a lot of things we clean up. We didn't play nearly, you know, to the level of potential, you know, for the guys that we have on this team, and you know, and it's one thing, you know, we have a lot of new guys, so you know, I just feel like once we're able to gel together and you know start playing together, we'll be a lot better off. So.
Keyshawn, we talked to you during fall camp, and you shared a little bit about your journey, like getting here. So just again, like getting out there and finally playing, just what were the emotions?
It meant the world to me. You know, like I said earlier, man, it's just a big blessing. You know, I'm never gonna take it for granted. You know, so just to be able to go out there, man, it really means the world to me, you know. So that's really all I got on that. So.
One of the things that Coach Huff said, you know, Albany had obviously played a game before coming here and kind of knew what they had offensively, defensively. Do you guys feel like you have a better idea of what your identity is as a defense after going through Saturday?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we do, but at the same time, I feel like we may have to reestablish our identity. I only say that because, you know, I just know that this defense, you know, is capable of playing way better, you know. No matter what the offense does, the defense, you know, has a standard, and we're going to try our best to uphold that standard by getting better each and every week.
Any further questions?
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Wide receiver DeMarcus Harris.
Who wants to lead off?
Sure. Lead off, Luke.
You know, obviously you guys get the win Saturday. How good did it feel to get out there? And then once the offense kind of started clicking there in the second half, how much better did that feel in the first half when you're trying to feel things out?
Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, we have a lot of new guys, and we're all trying to get that continuity with Cam and even with, you know, some of our running backs and stuff. So I think that first half, you know, we really showed the premature side of how explosive we can be. In the second half, we came out and we were firing. So it felt good to go out there, play with my teammates, you know, first time in the Jones, so it felt good.
What's early scout on ECU? Do you see and stands out to you?
They do a lot of movement in the back end that confuses even me as a receiver. So you know, watching the film, studying it, I'm sure we'll have a good game plan for it.
Marcus, when you guys got kind of busier in the second half, a little bit hotter offensively, it seemed like you changed the tempo a little bit. Is that something that you guys did, you know, just not just because you were down 10, but just because you want to make something happen offensively? And is that helpful to play that up-tempo style?
I think anytime any team, you know, can play with tempo to their advantage on offense, you know, you're going to put a defense in a bind just because, you know, maybe they're not used to it. Maybe the conditioning might not be there for them. But, yeah, we did plan on picking the tempo up because the first half was pretty slow. So second half, you know, we tried to kick it up a notch.
What's kind of the wide receiver group as a whole? Like, what's that position group like? All the guys in there, just is the chemistry there, and you guys gelling pretty well?
Yeah. No, the chemistry in the wide receiver room was great. I think Coach Knight, Coach Dobson, Coach Fahey, you know, they all help. You know, it's very light in there. It's not like a drill sergeant type of room. You know, it's very, everybody gives their opinions. If they see something they like, you know, we might say it. If we see something that's wrong, you know, you're gonna get corrected. But no, the chemistry in there is pretty good.
Coming from the SEC, I mean, you've obviously played in some big-time arenas, some big-time college football environments. What do you know about ECU? Because they're known to have big crowds and kind of a hostile environment down there. Has Trent told you anything about playing down there?
No, I mean, they said they've called it rowdy-dowdy and everything, but, I mean, crowd noise, if you let that affect you, then you're already lost, you know. So I just think, you know, you play your game how you play. That's just a distraction, you know.
Anything further?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's me now, Chuck Montgomery. How y'all doing? First question. Let's do it. Let's do
Got a little
it.
pep in your step this time.
Most definitely. You got to come through this building.
You know, obviously you get the win last week, first road game. How much more of a test is that playing on the road versus playing at home?
I see it as no test at all because every tool that Coach Huff has given us, not as players only, but as an organization, I feel we'll be prepared. Simple as that. Simple as that.
Chuck, offensively, after you've had a chance to see the Albany tape,
Yes, sir.
going down here against a really pretty good defense, too. A little more, as you said, bouncing your step this week.
Yes, sir. I mean, I don't see any team different. You know, that's what Huff emphasizes this week. You know, and any other week, don't look at any team as different. I mean, we did take Albany, you know, lightly, and that was our fault. We shouldn't have done that because they're still our opponent. We should respect them just how we respect anyone else, whether it's ECU, NC State, whoever else is on the schedule. And honestly, having another bounce on my step, I mean, that's just me, honestly. You can ask anyone in this building. Day by day, I'm going to give you the spirit of just being amped up, even if you're down, you know, because everyone deserves that, and that's what you have to have on the field, and that's why our chemistry on the field looked the way it looked going into the third and fourth quarter, because first and second, we were, you know, doing our own thing because we were just excited, you know, being out there for the first game. But honestly, once we strapped down and figured out who we were, we just started playing our ball.
Well, you kind of answered what I was going to ask. Just when you watch the tape in Albany, I mean, you guys kind of got shut out in that first half and then totally turned around 21 points in that second half. Just what do you think changed so much to have that happen?
Like I said before, we just stopped being us, you know, like stopped being our individual selves. We started being Marshall, you know, who we were and who we know we are, because we are Marshall. Go Herd, you know, trademark. Clip that. I know y'all like that. But, yeah, so honestly, I just feel we just have to know who we are, and going into every game of the week, we just simply have to know who we are and not just be diverted from the outside noise, whether it's the crowd, fans, reporters, anything. It should just be about us.
Obviously, some of those screen passes are a big part of the game plan last week.
Yes, sir.
When you catch the ball and see the blockers in front of you, what kind of goes through your head, you know, as the plays developing?
Make the first man miss. That's, well, key thing is the ball. The ball, the ball, the ball. If you ask Clint Trickett, the ball. So that's number one. Number two, make the first man miss. And number three, make something out of nothing. I mean, any opportunity given should be an opportunity, you know, taken, because you never know when you're going to get it back. And kudos to my tight ends and as well as my receiver brothers, because without their key blocks, I wouldn't have, you know, been able to make some shake, you know. And shout out to the O-line up front for blocking for my quarterback, because without those big guys, we wouldn't, or at least I wouldn't, be able to do anything. Nobody else?
Anything else? All righty.
Go Herd.
JJ, obviously, you get your first game with Marshall under your belt. You know, what were your kind of takeaways from how you played and just, you know, overall as a whole against Albany?
Coach Huff, I'm sure he talked about it because he told us, but he was talking about how that's probably the best thing that could happen to us, you know, getting to a dogfight the first game with Albany. I mean, I look at it the same way, honestly, because we needed that. But, you know, I think we saw some really good things in the game and, you know, obviously some bad, but that's why we practice so we can fix it and get ready for the next week.
Just looking ahead a little bit, what's your early scout of ECU?
They're a really good team. They have a good receiving core. They're missing their whole receiving core from last year, and they obviously lost their quarterback. It was like a 12,000-yard passer in his career. And they're rotating two guys right now. So, you know, both of them are really good quarterbacks. They both play a little bit different, but, I mean, they got a good offense, but, I mean, we have a good defense too. So.
JJ Trent was talking about when he was at ECU, and he's talked to you guys a little bit about the atmosphere. He played in some pretty good atmospheres in North Carolina, so I mean they'll be pretty spirited, I imagine, on Saturday afternoon.
Oh yeah, and I've heard some stories from Trent and from other people, but you know, it definitely sounds like it's going to be a good environment to be in, a hostile environment to play in, but I'm excited.
Jake, more of a personal question, but was the family able to get out here on Saturday
Oh.
and watch the play?
Yeah, absolutely. I had a bunch of people here, honestly. I mean, the support is awesome. So, you know, right down the road from everybody, so everybody made it out. It was nice to come out of the locker room after the game and see everybody. So.
You mentioned kind of the dual quarterback situation going on there at ECU. How difficult is it to prepare for one or the other? Are there similarities, differences between the two?
They have some similarities, but one is 6'5", 250. The other one's like 6'1". They both have good arms, but you know, I think the difference is their running ability in a way. But honestly, they're kind of similar, so I don't think it's going to be like difficult to prepare for both of them. But definitely respect them as quarterbacks and their arm talent.
How about them and I guess Garcia probably start, but specifically him, as being very different from the quarterback you looked at last week? What's going to be different about the way you guys have to attack these guys?
Yeah, so he's more of like a thumper when he runs the ball, as opposed to last week he was more of a agile, make you miss type of quarterback. But you know, like I mentioned, he's 6'5", 250, so he's not going to try and juke you out. He's going to try and lower his shoulder. But I mean, he has a strong arm. he makes some really good throws, especially at Michigan, which was probably a hostile environment for them. So, you know, definitely got to prepare for him a little bit differently than last week.
Any further questions? Alrighty.
Thanks, sir.
Appreciate it.
Obviously, week 1 under the belt, week 2, what's the challenge ahead for you guys?
ECU's a good offense. Like JJ said, they lost a lot of guys last year. I believe a 5-year starter at quarterback, something a little over 13,000 yards, 4 different wide receivers. Same offensive coordinator, though, so it'll be the same game plan. They're a good football team all the way around. I don't think the score against Michigan really shows they played good. The score maybe just didn't look that way. So they're a good football team. We're excited.
Atmosphere is going to be pretty intense going down there. You've handled big atmospheres before. What are you saying to the new guys that maybe haven't experienced that yet?
To be honest, I don't ever notice it. Whenever we go out there on the field, Notre Dame, Boise State, once you kind of get out there, you're on the field, you're playing. Even here, I don't notice the fans are even here until, you know, every now and then on a third down or whenever we come off on the sideline. You're so locked into the game. I'm so focused on what's going on around me. That's pretty much what I try to coach up to our younger guys, specifically like Eli, Mike Green, Bert, all the guys in my own room, is that if you're focused in on what you got to do and what's going on before pre-snap for the play, you'll be perfectly fine.
You guys aren't in the same league, obviously, anymore, but there is some significance in this rivalry over the years for a lot of reasons. Do you feel like it's a little bit of a rivalry with them just because of the situation and the circumstances in the past between these two schools?
I mean, I'm sure it is. We won our lick back for sure from the last game. I believe we were up 38-21, right? Something like that. We're up 17 points, and they ended up coming back and beating us. Trent talks about it all the time. But, yeah, we got a little pep in our step to get this one back this time.
You know, your role has obviously changed a little bit since that game, since you guys met 2 years ago. How much did you play in that one? I don't quite remember. And how have you seen your role change, and how are you preparing differently?
That was probably one of my better games that first year with Coach Huff. I think I still ended up playing significantly, but I know I didn't start that game. I still was behind Shane before he hurt his ankle. But yeah, I mean, I got to go out here and play the same way I did Saturday and try to make the plays that come to me and make the plays that happen in the defense and help change the game when I get the chance.
Everybody good?
Sweet. Thank y'all.
Thanks, Mike.